Welcome to part 11 of the Pathfinder Phase 1 training challenges. Today we're going to go over signaling, and what I'm going to show you is how to make a smoke generator or a signal fire. There are a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to do a signal fire on a tripod. Now Chris Wyndham and I have went over 10 different challenges that you can follow along, and this gives you a direction that you can research on and do within your area, and thus doing these practices and these challenges, getting better and better, you'll be more equipped for a survival situation, as well as you'll be more comfortable in the bush knowing that you have this knowledge. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to start a tripod and go over what's important when you're considering a emergency signal fire. So I'm going to get busy. I'll set up the tripod. We'll go from there. Got 3 poles right here. I'm going to lash them together into a tripod, and what I've got for my fire is birch bark, which I can light off a ferro rod, just some dried twigs I can throw into it that will catch after the birch bark does. And then I have green fir boughs. That's going to be my smoke maker. I wore a different backpack in here today because I didn't need to carry that great big backpack. So I just decided to take the few things I needed. So I'm just going to tie this around and tie basically a knot. I'm going fairly high on this, and now all I'm going to do is go in between. That's going to tighten it up. This doesn't have to be really strong. It's just got to hold together, and this is going to do it fine. It's still going to be strong, but not going to put 3 or 4 lashings on it and round and around and such. I don't need it for this application. Now that's going to do right there. I just wrap it around a couple times, tie it off. That's the start of our basic frame. I'm going to get some pieces that I can put across here and such, and we'll go on further. I'm going to tie these cross pieces down along, and what that's going to allow is for me to put a base, build a fire lay to hold up my other tinder and such. I'm just going to go all the way around on each one of these and secure this. All I'm doing is going around it, and then in between, it cinches them up, holds them tight, and then tie it off. I'm limited in my cordage. I don't want to waste too much, because this is probably going to burn up. You're not going to be able to get your cordage back after you light this. Got these tied on here now, as you see. And now I can run sticks across here so I can make a platform. Now I have this in an open area. It's all clear above me. And what you're trying to obtain here is a big, billowing smoke, because it's going to start burning when you light the birch bark. And then it's going to heat up through and start burning the green. The green stuff is actually what's going to give you your smoke, like hardcore smoke. That's what you want. And the hotter you get the fire, the straighter up usually it will go. It's very windy here today. It's going to be very hard. This type of system is great for a swamp, wet ground, many different areas like this snow. I don't want to build it right on the snow. I can with, but this is going to last longer without having to touch it. So I can have 3 or 4 of these set up and in an area, so whichever one I'm closest to I can run over and strike it up fast. Now this is good, like I said, for wet conditions and such, and it keeps it up off the ground. But you can make one right on the ground as well and strike it. But if it rains and such, it can get wet. What tinder I'm using is birch bark, because even when damp, it still lights. And I'm going to have all this green foliage up above it that's going to protect it some from rain as well. So I'm going to get this going across here and we'll get back at it. Okay, what I've got here is I found a dead birch tree. I'm cutting that up and just lay it across here as a base. Now I have a whole bunch of birch bark right there. Now we're going to start building this up. Just like any fire, you're going to want small twig size and some bigger pencil size. Just so that's going to catch when this birch bark does. What I'm doing is I have some fine birch bark right in here. I'm leaving that open so I can use my ferro rod and light it. You can light this with a match, light it with a lighter, whatever you have for a fire source at that time. So after I do this here, then I'm going to start throwing the fir boughs on it and just start stuffing this with fir boughs. When I'm all finished, I'll show you what it looks like. Now you normally would stack this in a little bit more and such, but I don't want this to burn for a real long time. You should get 15 minutes roughly out of one of these. That's what you want to try to get, is 15 minutes. I'm going to light this up and show you how this is going to work. You can also have brush beside you that you could feed in if you wanted to. And you see one circling or whatever and you don't know if it sees you. You can take and feed some in on top of this fire. See if we can get this going. can see the wind is actually blowing it all in one direction. This is where you can manipulate it. See, that is perfect right there. Shove in more. Like I said, you got high winds here as well. I'm going to let this burn out because I don't want to signal nobody. Hope this helps and gives you an idea how to make a signal fire, which can be life-saving. The next part of Pathfinder Phase 1 series is going to be a camp out in our base camps. I also want to give a shout out to Snowwalker 13. It's Brian Manning. He's the one that actually grades these courses. And he's been watching my videos and saying there's sound information. And he's liking them. So that makes me feel good that he's watching and seeing what he thinks. And he agrees with what I have. So anyhow, hope this helps and see you in part 12. That will be the final one. And I hope you enjoyed this series. And get out and try some of these. Thanks. Bye for now.